Well, that works.
Hey, welcome back to the channel. Yeah, you read it right. You read it right, and I know a lot of folks are going to watch this on the playback, which I think is a good idea. For those of you who don't know, I think you probably do. I'm good friends with the man who actually designed Absorbing Man. We've been friends for a very long time. We did, I think, an amazing interview. Make sure you check that out. His channel is linked in the description. He also has a YouTube channel that covers MCoC, does a lot of wonderful streams, guides, war videos. Not surprisingly, he knows this game inside and out. And he's on stream with me today, and I was like, hey, I pulled Absorbing Man because I just knew I needed to go and get this guy. I literally today took him to rank 4, and I've barely played him. I've watched the videos, I've listened to the videos, but there's nothing like actually doing it yourself. And what better way to learn how to play a champion than from the person who designed him? Thank you so much for being here, DLL, Daddy Longlegs. How are you doing?
Yeah, man, I'm doing good.
I
had a good day.
Yeah, you were streaming just a few minutes ago yourself.
Yeah, I was with Alliance mate Slayman. We did a Sector 9 run and ended when he got his butt kicked by a sentry that was not behaving.
Yeah, there's a lot of really angry champions these days. As you know, I run that tournament, and sometimes defenders get very angry and they take it out on us. They take it out on us. So I mean this is, if you could, viewer, listener, folks, if you could put yourself in my shoes and you play this game that you love for 5 years, and then all of a sudden your friend who's incredibly knowledgeable about it's like, oh yeah, by the way, I'm going to start designing things for the game. And it's a game like this where you can get them on your roster or what have you. I kind of, December was a good month for me in real life, and I was like, I'm gonna go get this Absorbing Man. Now I got very lucky. It actually did not take that many crystals to get him, so I got really fortunate there. But I've got him. I've ranked him up. I was just going to do it. It was something I realized was like, birds fly south. I think they fly south for the winter, right? It was kind of.
I'm glad it wasn't that bad.
Yeah, no, it actually. I'm glad I didn't make a video on it because I told people I wouldn't do that kind of stuff too much anymore. And I think it would have given a grossly misleading idea on how quickly people get 6-star champions. We've got a lot of people in the chat here. I'm going to try. I don't know how long we have DLL for. He lives in a different time zone than me, and it's further ahead. And so I kind of want to just jump right into this, buddy. I'm aware he obviously has the pre-fights. I'm aware about the ability to refresh the forms through the SP1 or the SP2, depending on which form you're in. I know, or at least I have the opinion. Please correct me, interrupt me, correct me at any point where I'm wrong. His ideal matchups are where you can take him to where he's immune to something. To me, this feels very much like Overseer. I love that ability of Overseer, where if he causes him to fail or if he's immune, it's just going to ramp him up.
It's that or a lot of buffs. And the thing is that it will catch either buffs ending, like being removed or even reapplied. Literally any of those triggers will trigger the pause. So that's why Hulkling is very good. Even somebody like Angela is quite good.
That's right. And because you do these, like the notes with context, they're phenomenal. I was listening to that today, actually. And you mentioned about how, like with Hulkling, you can get his healing to refresh, right? And that can help out. Okay.
Yeah, like if you're already at 4 and you hit him again, it looks like his healing just stays at 4. But what happens is because it's a max stack, the oldest one is replaced by a new one.
Okay.
And that oldest one ending triggers it.
Okay. I see the question in the chat. Chat, I might not be quite as interactive tonight as usual because again, I've got this man on the line. I want to present this, but I do see the question. I want to make it clear for everyone who's watching the stream, playback live. This is live account. I went out and I wanted to get this champion, so I did. And here we are. So I'm doing a vanilla matchup. Deadpool doesn't try to armor break him. Deadpool's placing potentially a bleed, right?
Right. So what I would, a lot of people are going straight to the light intercepts, and like you can do that, but you and I tend to play the game with an emphasis on like playing safe and war.
Yeah.
And so I don't think that that's actually where you should start. Where I would start on Deadpool is baiting heavies and throwing like 2 light attacks after to try and get the pause that way. So you can do like light, medium, or something after he heavies.
Okay, why don't I try that and you can kind of... Okay, that was pretty simple. Now, Deadpool's, not
right, it's somewhat animation dependent, but that lets you get the pause.
And that's pausing my form?
Sorry, go on. Right, that's pausing your form, and so then as soon as you get over a bar, you can you can special immediately like you did, but at some point you probably want to start also throwing the heavy first and canceling into the special after the first hit. Yeah. Because that's when you get that 90% crit rate, and it's fun.
So the heavy, that's right, I remember you saying that. It also can make you go unblockable?
Right. If you are already, like, if any special that would refine you is unblockable, it does the refine check before it decides if you're unblockable or not.
Do I want a medium light medium now? I don't want to skip too far ahead, because I really do want to make this a learning thing for everyone.
For a short fight like this, I probably would, yeah.
Medium light medium.
Yeah, because then that gives you the regen and the bigger vulnerability.
That was a really nice regen. Should I have, and if I'm skipping ahead too much, just tell me, but okay, let's go back a step. Should I have probably medium light medium earlier in the fight? Because I feel like the first special I threw did some pretty nice damage.
Basically, if you're in a short fight like this, I would probably medium light medium as soon as you cross 150, which is when the icon turns green.
Okay, so let's start this over. And I'm getting that icon to go to 150 by refreshing the forms, right?
Right. And if you if that first special one you throw is canceled out of a heavy, you get 30 bonus. And so if you've been staying on top of your charge, it's possible to get 150 off the very first special.
Okay, so this light, it's not an intercept, but this light interrupt is really just about pausing the form.
Right, because the more the form is paused, then the more duration you have left when you throw the first special.
So let's see how this... Oh, yeah.
Yeah, see, 144, very close.
Yeah, that was... okay, let's see if we can just bait this special too here.
This is also why the Immortal Abomination synergy is so strong, because it's just a flat 3 seconds on all forms. So if you had that, you would have gotten 150 off the first special.
Okay, now I lost my form, and I didn't have 150, so I couldn't... Because medium light medium would bring it back, right?
Medium light medium does auto refine you. If you lose your form like that, what I would try and do is heavy cancel, because you get the 30 whether you're in a form or not. And so if you had heavy canceled into that special one after losing it, then you would have gained 30, you would have been at 174, and then you could have medium light medium to refine. Hey Slayer, how's it going?
Okay, I feel like the animations are Deadpool's not the toughest to punish on these things.
Right.
But the animations and the I obviously don't know the rotation. I hate using that term.
Right.
But the order in which I want to do things, I'm clearly going to have to wrap my head around a little bit. Maybe we should slow down a little bit. But I have to say, all of the specific things that you're telling me I should do, like heavy cancel to this or punish this, they feel pretty easy to do.
That's good. That was definitely the goal, was for there to be layers to him. Yeah. I literally sent somebody a Shrek GIF earlier today. But there's supposed to be layers to him, but each one should feel pretty modular after the other.
Even that right there. So for people who are watching, when with this heavy, this isn't the craziest heavy, but it's not one you can just. Wow, that heavy reach is nice.
I annoyed Art to get that, and I'm so happy with it. They did a great job.
Tell them thank you. But look at this. You can do that double light. You know what I'm going to have to practice, though, is for some reason, doing that double light is making me want to end my combo in a light, and there's no reason for that.
Yeah, he definitely messes with some of your instincts.
Okay, I just accidentally switched forms, but it looks like it wasn't bad for me.
Right. If you had medium light mediumed right after that special 2, you would have been in refined magma and you would have started getting the instant incinerates. Or not instant, but passives. So I think Mystic Dispersion took you over the bar when you weren't ready for it, which is why you ended up in magma.
Yeah.
But you had enough left on Uru when you went to magma that your morph charges went over 150.
I mean,
stay strong, nah. It's only 2 weeks.
Yeah. So for I will take a slight break here, and I see everyone in chat. I see a lot of friends in chat. Hello, everyone. Cyber, go Birds. But again, I only have DLL here for so long. This was not an ideal matchup. I think the only thing that was really there is there may have been some buffs.
Right, but they were pretty infrequent.
Yeah, that wasn't really. Now, this is a rank 4 SIG 200, so I want to make that. Let's make that abundantly clear. I know folks are joining at different times here. Okay, so I'm going up against this Arcus. This is kind of a funky node, if I recall. I take this one all the time.
What's on it?
Thermostat, sharing is carrying. I usually show this node to show how little the champion cares about the node. As a result, I don't actually really know what the node does.
Okay.
No, I'm serious. Like I'll do this in videos.
Well, the good news is that the penalties for not following it are either Cold Snap or Incinerate, and you probably want to be in Magma against Arcus anyway.
Okay, so that's one of his 2 forms. That's going to also happen when we throw the SP2, correct?
Right. Okay. So the basics of what you're doing are the same. It's just that now you're moving up to heavy cancel into special 2 instead of special 1.
Okay. Let's see if
The other thing I'm going to call out against Arcus specifically is you probably want to do a 5-hit combo after you beta heavy, because that's what you need to be close to him long enough to get the armor break. And the armor break is free morph charges.
Now, how can I do a 5-hit combo if I'm starting off with a light? Or are you saying don't start off with a light?
Well, you can do either, but that's the thing is because Arcus armor breaks you, you don't need to do the light because you get a longer pause off the armor break anyway.
So that's what you're saying versus Arcus specifically. I understand that was advice tailored very specific to the defender.
Right. That's specifically against Arcus. You need to stay close for a full combo because you want that armor break.
Okay. And you know what? Maybe you said it. I know I didn't. For folks, again, who just don't know much about Carl here. Carl is Absorbing Man. Absorbing Man is Carl. He's immune to armor break. So that's one of those things he's immune to. And that's why DL is pointing this out specifically about.
And it's his special immunity because the other ones trigger a 3-second pause. Armor break triggers the pause and gives him free morph charges.
So do I really want to worry about punishing with light at all, given all of this?
You don't have to. Like, you could get the pause online earlier if you did. But, like, we're talking small margins. Because see how you can medium, light, medium after 2 armor breaks and auto-refine.
And there's a small amount of power control off of when I'm blocking, right?
When you're refined only. Okay. So actually against Arcus, I probably would medium, light, medium early, because then that's going to give you that little bit of power control when you block.
I keep missing the... so I got to learn that animation better. Okay.
Yeah, and it's worth calling out resistances will not save you against special 3s because they don't do typed damage, but because you're immune to armor break, he still doesn't hurt you that bad.
Okay, being into the wall was nice there. I kind of want to learn to... Okay, there it was. So I needed to... Wow. That felt like a big heavy.
Yeah, the heavy gets the crit regardless. It's just that if the heavy is canceled, then that crit bonus goes over the whole special.
That was really nice. And it looked like for the heavy punish there, I was trying to back up and then heavy immediately into it, but it looked like I just needed to do a light then a heavy, and it seemed totally fine. Okay.
Yeah, there's definitely some Tigra level spacing to
Okay.
him in certain places.
Okay. So what's up, B McG? How you doing, my friend? Mobius, Richard, what's up, dude? Okay. So back to the very basic here. Guys, we're probably just going to continue to do this loop. Go ahead and ask the questions, even if we're not reading them out. What it will do, though, is it'll let me know and DLL know, like, hey, here's something that we're not explaining very clearly. So don't. I
will.
Yeah, go ahead.
I was gonna say on the Sig.
Oh yeah.
If you are in his target matchups, like Vega was saying, where there's immunities or buffs, it's not terribly important at all. But then when you are in vanilla matchups, it's incredibly important to making him feel more fluid. Why isn't he Incinerate immune when in Magma form? He is Incinerate immune in Magma form. I noticed you asked that earlier, but then we showed Magma form, so I'm kind of curious. Do you mean why isn't he Nova Flame immune? Because that's something else.
I have a question here on the Sig here, but is
yeah,
the heal looks like it could get pretty potent. It doesn't seem like he has to be at low health, but so when Absorbing Man consumes his morph charges, which is the medium light medium, correct?
Yes, or if he gets to 600 and throws a special, he does it automatically.
Okay. He gains a non-stacking regeneration passive. Cool, it's not a buff. Healing 30% of his missing health over 12 seconds. And then with the mastery that improves heals, I mean, that seems like a decent amount of healing. That's not, it's not going to heal you all the way back to full, but that's not nothing.
Right. If you're at 70%, this should get you to around 80.
And that's pretty cool. Again, guys, I'm just diving into this champion, like as far as playing him. That seems pretty cool to me because you're already doing that. Like, you're already consuming your morph charges at some point. You're strategically using them, right?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah, and strategic is a good word for it because I've been called out. Yeah, I will probably need to mess with my settings. I saw something about the echo in the chat. It's probably with where I'm sitting. I used to have a different setup. But yeah, strategic is a good word because there is a bit of a choice between whether you want to medium, light, medium as soon as you cross 150, or whether you want to save it until 600 and get all 4 vulnerability passives at the same time, and that's how you get like some truly silly damage.
Okay, so why don't I do that? I will try to trigger it as soon as possible on this matchup, and then against Venom, because it's a slightly bigger health pool, I'll wait a little bit. We'll see if he can make it. So that's what I'm going to try to concentrate on for keeping it very simple, guys. What's up, Aiden? Is I'll just try to keep my forms refreshed. And with Deadpool, I'll try to trigger. I'll do medium, light, medium as soon as we get to 150. Then the duck will go a little bit longer if we can. Are we going to get to 150?
It can be a little tricky on the first one. Yeah, and honestly, that's why I threw in the extra 30 on heavy cancels, just because sometimes I felt like that was a really big contributor in getting me over the line.
So here's the thing, though, and I like to test against these champions for a variety of reasons. One is you can keep it vanilla, but also the health pool size. That's a low. That's a low end battleground. But I shouldn't have even gone to 150 there, huh? I should have gone to like 120. Is that what you're saying? And then done the heavy cancel.
Right. That's the thing. The icon lights up at 150, but I think that's kind of like the next level of playing him is realizing when you're at 120 and knowing that a heavy cancel will get you to 150.
Yeah, that honestly seems like a nugget that I would have either just discovered accidentally, or I would have needed to play him a lot, then go listen to your video again, and then discovered, or not discovered, but like pieced together. So I'm gonna try that, guys.
Oh, one other thing. And this is one that I think requires you to kind of break with some of your instincts.
Yeah.
Is that the pause also triggers if you punish a 5-hit combo with a light.
You know what? Yeah. Yeah. We'll see if I'm able to do that.
No, I built the guy, and I wanted that to happen, and I've still only done it like 3 times in my practice. It feels very weird.
So you really want to heavy into your specials, don't you?
Right, because that's what increases your crit rate, and his baseline crit rate is pretty low.
Yeah.
And you need to crit to get the critical bursts.
Yeah, so if anyone's really watching, you just saw it. I threw the special one thinking it was going to end him. It just must not have critted. It very little did. Deadpool was also healing, so, it's a big heal. And then I did the heavy just now, and there were much bigger numbers, to say the least. All right, I want to do this fight one more, guys. For anyone listening or watching, I understand the analogy to Tigra, and I'm not a great Tigra player. I feel like I can control him better. I don't know how to explain that.
I get what you mean, because often if you're trying to play Tigra at peak output, you have to do the thing constantly.
Yeah.
To play Carl at peak output, you have to do the thing sometimes.
Yeah.
Is kind of how I think about it.
Yeah, I remember when we did the interview, you talked quite a bit about a brawler.
Yeah.
I feel like that's coming through like a boxer, these like very... I'm forgetting what I'm supposed to be doing. The footwork feels really good. I don't know how else to explain that. Especially if you haven't watched boxing, it's not going to make a lot of sense to people.
I know what you mean though, because I said this during the interview, but like we didn't talk about the specifics of the footwork or like how I wanted the lights to look or anything, but they feel right.
Yeah. I'm gonna see if this will end him. Just too much healing. That's just too big a heal. That'll end him.
Yeah. But this has also been like really interesting for me because so many of the fights I've seen with him since he came out are look how broken he is against Terra.
Yeah.
It's kind of refreshing.
You know me, I don't want to...
Yeah.
I'm the guy that did the Wiccan video and was like, I'm taking this Terrax. This would be a hell of a thumbnail. but it's really going to mislead people.
Yeah.
I mean, trust me, if I get to use them in war or wherever, I'll do it. I'll show you guys what's possible.
Yeah.
I want to talk about the because I want to get across, because I know I've played this game at various skill levels myself, and sometimes I was really scared off from trying champions if they were portrayed as being very difficult to use. And I'm not trying to say he's easy, guys. I'm not trying to tell you that. And obviously, I'm not playing at peak with him right now either. But what I'm trying to say is that light that you're seeing me do to punish some heavies or specials, it feels very controlled. Like the step forward he makes, it's just enough. I hope that's coming through well. If you guys are like, what are you talking about? Let me know in the chat. Let's try this here.
Yeah, and that's why I try and turn people away from light intercepts so much, because like they're obviously cool. They help you get the last little bit of edge out of it. It's going to be the difference in like winning Battlegrounds matches with him against skilled opponents. But I don't think it's the first thing that you need to learn before you can play him at all.
No, that's not what I'm getting out of this. See, like right there, I could have punished, right?
Yeah.
But I didn't. I'm not. That feels like next level. So medium, light, medium, heavy into this SP1. Was that all around decent? Obviously, I could have punished that combo into my block, and I didn't. But aside from that,
Right.
did that look pretty...
Let's see, how fast was this one? So that's 52 seconds for a roughly Battlegrounds health pool, right?
Yeah.
Like, it does have class advantage, and like you said, you could have been a little bit faster, and this is a rank 2, so your crit stats are slightly inflated. But, like, yeah, that feels about right.
I mean, and that's not going to win you that many depending on what tier you're playing in the meta. There's a lot of variables there, but like BMcG and Legacies went tonight, and this meta is brutal.
Right.
I tried to say rough and brutal, and it came out brutal. It was very brutal. That wouldn't have won you a lot of fights. 52 seconds. Maybe it would have.
Yeah, it kind of depends on what you're putting on defense.
Yeah.
Right?
Friday Mike, Slayer of Gods, Aiden, what's up, fellas? Accelerate, what's up, dude? Just Michael. I'm one of the people that listens to videos, Michael. I am, and I remember your video very well. Caught my attention. Slayer, so I'm getting is that to not get hit. In general, that's what I try not to do, Slayer. I try not to get hit. Not always that great at it. That's why Kabam invented indestructible boosts.
So Aiden, that's not quite it. What it is that like his base crit stats are just bad. So you don't even want to think about like relative to the base. He's going to crit sometimes if you don't use the heavy, and it's probably going to have more to do with the fact that you're running the precision mastery than anything in his kit. The heavy, when they're stunned, so if you just parry heavy, gives you roughly, before adjusting for challenger rating, 45% crit rate. When they're not stunned, it's 90%. The massive difference between them is just how diminishing returns works. Yeah, so now if you block, then anytime you block, you'll reduce his power rate. Or that was true before, but yeah, now the same thing would be true. So if you block a special 2, then you'll probably gain some extra power.
You know what I realized, though, is I really didn't want to leave this form, right? And then I just messed up the heavy punish again. And I'm going to mess it up again. So with all the messing up I just did, that still was really nice.
Yeah, and one thing that you saw there is why he has generic vulnerabilities and not like energy or physical specifically. Because if you swap forms like that, you still get to benefit from what you set up beforehand.
I really like this guy. For those of you who watch a lot of my videos or see a lot of my streams, I don't do a ton of like early reviews on champions, but sometimes I do. And one of the things I'll often say is I don't totally know what I'm doing, but good things are happening. um, that's how I feel about this guy. Because I messed that fight up. I should have stayed in the magma, which is my SP2s. But, you know, we've been doing this SP1s because these health pools feel smaller. Keep in mind, this is 160. Venom the Duck's like almost 200.
Right, and their attack values are real, but not huge. Like if you had accidentally messed that up in war on like the aggression prowess hazard shift mini, and then that special 2 into block would have hurt, right?
Yeah.
You probably would have survived the fight if that was the only mistake you made.
Yeah.
But yeah, like that's kind of the idea.
And the power, I mean, it's not what we would normally think of as a power control.
Right. It's closer, like, it is power control the way that Scorpion's Petrify is healing control, is how I would think of it. Because it's like, it's not actually that strong as purely control, but it helps you benefit. You get to steal some of it.
You know, I wanted to see that. The heavy does some pretty nice damage. Like, just as like a...
Heavy spamming with him is pretty fun.
Yeah. I wanted to check that out. I'm trying to like get this down a little more. I really like beating up Deadpool. We're down to 41 seconds, folks. It's looking good. Karate Mike. I've heard he knows things about this game. One thing I'm noticing, you could counter the defender's heavies with your lights a bit faster. We'll speed him up a bit more. Yeah. There's can I counter the defender's heavies with your lights? Yeah. Okay. I will. And that would speed him up even more.
Yeah, I think that is true. It's kind of like you're waiting for when like it feels like their heavy animation is done.
Yeah.
But there's a little bit of time where it's like you can just wait for they're not going to hit me. And you can shave off like a second here or there.
Which can be a big deal in Battlegrounds.
Right. And can also be a morph charge or so.
So like that was better, yeah?
Yeah. Yeah, and actually that was a really good illustration of the fact that like well, the first one.
Yeah. Don't.
But that was a really good illustration of the fact that like interrupting includes in the middle of their heavy. Because that's something I've called out in Battlegrounds, is like there is a big difference in speed between the people that counter Nick Fury's heavy after the double hit and after the whole thing.
Okay, this is just a matter of timing. This is where the tiger analogy comes in.
Right.
I actually meant to... okay, I'm just... we're off the rails here. Don't pay attention to this fight. Don't pay attention to this fight.
I did the same thing when I was first practicing. I remember even like one of Lags' videos was like, I know how to... Or I know conceptually what I need to do better, but it's not lining up yet.
Yeah. Yeah, he talked at length. I admired his honesty on that one.
Yeah, he fights some old instincts.
Okay, here we go. Like, even right there, that's just a natural intercept instinct. But like, I think that's okay, right? I mean, just because it wasn't a light intercept doesn't mean it's bad, or is it bad?
No, it's fine because for one thing, you still had the light, or you still had the pause going, and so like that's another thing, like one more level of efficiency that you can squeeze out of him is like while you have a pause up, there isn't really a strong reason to go for another one.
Oh, really?
You can kind of do like a full 5-hit combo, or you can do a 4-hit combo, block and beta heavy, so that then you can set up your next pause. But like that allows you to do a little more damage and gain a little more power if you're doing like pause, 4-hit combo, bait heavy, pause, 4-hit combo, as opposed to just pause, baiting heavy, and just repeating that, if that makes sense.
Yeah, it does. And I realized that I didn't understand the pause timer very well because I'm not even resetting the pause timer. If I do it, it's like either paused or it's not.
Well, like you are resetting the timer, but there's no benefit for pausing again 3 seconds into the 6 seconds as opposed to 5.
Okay. And it's not like Miguel, where Miguel being Spider-Man 2099 gets like a second full timer going. That is how it works, isn't
Yes
it?
and no. They don't stack, but like it will reset, so it's kind of functionally pretty similar.
Okay. That one was actually, I think we got it down to 41 a few seconds ago. That was down to 43. That one I felt like I more knew what I was doing though.
Yeah.
That was pretty cool.
43 seconds against somebody who isn't triggering his stuff is definitely starting to get more competitive, right?
Yeah, and again, keep in mind, guys, this is a 6-star rank 4 SIG 200. This is the live server. This is my account, but this is short of those single rank 5s out there. This is okay. So backing out of that's going to be something to learn.
Luca, I hate to be blunt, but I have not run into a lot of cheaters in this Battlegrounds meta. My suspicion is that there are ways of countering the node that some of your opponents have figured out that you haven't yet. And so my suggestion to you, if you're having trouble with it, is watch some streams and see how people are countering it. Like, there's a way to play Hyperion to get around this. There's a way to play Crossbones to get around this. There's a way to play Nimrod so that you can take down Domino. And if you don't understand what techniques they're using, that could easily look like hacking, but it's not necessarily that. I love that victory animation.
What's Raheem? I think Mike just wants, you got ABSMan up there with this massive silvery shiny ball. It's I gotta say I like it too. I didn't even get to do his full thing there. Okay, let's do this. And we haven't even talked about the special 3.
Yeah.
Okay, so I'm gonna try to stay in magma, guys. Last time we got here, I didn't do that. I got overexcited. I got excited with my new toy, and we went a little far. I can tell I'm getting more aggressive with them.
Mm-hmm.
And it's leading to mistakes, but that's okay. That's what learning's for.
Right. Dial it forward, dial it back.
Yeah. We'll do that, and then I keep forgetting to punish that properly. Oh boy. Oh boy. That's the good stuff. Let's try to finish it with this SP1. That's the good stuff. That's... you can feel it running through your veins. Oh, and that's just due to his immunities powering up. I mean, that honestly feels like Overseer when you hit Cosmic Mode. That's what that feels like. Is health bars just drop because he's immune to all this stuff, and then you trigger it by hitting the buttons.
And then the fight's over.
And then it's over. Here, let's take a few seconds and look at chat. Cyber, okay, I want him before this feels a deal. I apologize because I know this is your boy here, but this feels very Overseer to me.
He was definitely my comparison point through a lot of this. Yeah.
Okay. Like, I think if this champion comes out when Overseer came out, it probably would have been a similar lukewarm reaction because we just hadn't had a ton of champions like that.
Right. It's like, what do you mean he like gets better when you trigger these niche interactions? I guess he's just not worth playing.
Yeah. Or it takes too long. I've got to do all these things, and it's just kind of where the game has evolved to. Why did the SP1 didn't hit that hard, right? It just was it just finished him off. It was really that SP2 did 60% of the damage.
Right. Well, and somebody asked earlier, like, if you're just going for damage, what rotation do you use? And I think that often it is the special 2. Because if you're staying in Uru, you may be able to get more morph charges. And so you may be able to ramp your vulnerabilities and just magnify your damage better. But Refined Magma doing those little 1-second passive incinerates really adds up. Like, you can see here, like you weren't even in Refined Magma for that long, but it was 20 little incinerates for a huge chunk of your damage.
What's going on? You can try to you can see how hard it is. Luca, buddy, Battlegrounds is tough. It is.
Yeah.
It's a competitive mode of the game, and what I mean by that is you're going up against other people. So you're going up against their rosters, and this is going to sound self-serving, but it's not intended that way. Watch some of the Battlegrounds tournament I put on, and you'll see Karate Mike. Karate Mike's a semifinalist in it. Mike is one of the best players in the world. You've also got Aiden. Aiden's, again, a phenomenal player. Nal was in here earlier, Slayer of Gods, like. And so there's a lot of people like that who we don't know. They don't have YouTube channels or things like that. So it is really hard. And I'm not going to try to tell you there aren't hackers. There are. That's true. But it does sound like your experience might be, you might be running into legit players. There's just so many tactics. Like Legacy did one tonight that I have never seen done before. And he won because of it. He won his round. Literally because he pulled off this tactic. He did it 3 times. Without doing that, he loses. But he did.
Right.
So there's just these things. Slayer of Gods.
Were you there?
What was that? What were you going to say, bud?
Were you there in the CCP when people were asking YOLO to look up when we'd been reported?
Yeah. I didn't have time to engage. I wanted to in that moment.
Because Luca, to your point, apparently, like, I have personally been reported for a few dozen matchups that I have live streamed because I have almost exclusively played Battlegrounds on stream. I did one earlier this week. I'll probably do another one tomorrow morning if you'd like to tune in. But like a lot of those matchups that are publicly recorded, I've been recorded for, and sometimes it's just because you don't see how something is possible. But that doesn't mean that it isn't.
This one's interesting because I just obviously don't know his animations. He being Masakre.
Masakre's kind of a weird one for heavy countering.
Yeah, this is just purely timing, folks. Like, this could be a lot better.
I got used to him on the old Map 7 diss track node. I took him on that node or on that path with Apocalypse, but like definitely got hit a lot on the way.
Yeah. I got one there earlier. There appears to be a little opening in between his heavy. You don't need to wait for the whole full thing.
Right, but it's quick.
So what does this SP3 do? Well, since we're there, we're naturally.
I intended it for two things. One, it ramps him for long fights and makes things a little bit easier. The other thing is that if you're having trouble getting the other pauses, if the light interrupts are difficult for you, if
Don't worry about that. Listen to DLL. Don't pay attention to what's on the screen, guys.
That right there, ladies and gentlemen, is a beautiful illustration of how if you are in your energy resistance mode, physical damage still hurts. But yeah, the other thing that the Special 3 is supposed to do is it's supposed to kind of be easy mode. Because like the way that you squeeze damage out of Absorbing Man is you worry about pausing his forms, and you worry about heavies to get crit rate, right? And the Special 3 gives you a long pause and a bunch of crit rate. And so it just kind of bakes in 15 seconds of everything's going to work pretty well for you.
So the Special 3 gives you crit rate as all. Activate the most recent form. Pause for 15 seconds. While this pause, Absorbing Man gains 8,800 crit rate. That sounds like a lot. I think you and Mike for sure talked about this in your videos on him about how the SP3, a lot of mystics, you know, especially running Mystic Dispersion, you sometimes get pushed to it, and it's very disappointing.
Right.
Because you're like, I got to build my SP2 again. This feels like. Is there anything else, DLL, while I got you on the call, that you would want to try to show? Because I feel like we're getting the good basics down. I see the chat. Oracle, I agree. The most part of the SP3 is it does look awesome. That's also true.
I wasn't sure how people would respond to the crystal. I'm glad the reception's been good.
I enjoy it. Manuel saying he wants to report Cardi Mike even after he sees his videos. Because what I'm thinking is we do a couple battlegrounds and I try to force him into some matchups, even if it's just as a defender.
Mm-hmm.
Because as an attacker, he's not really going to be great for this though, right? Because of the I'm still in the victory track there. I haven't played battlegrounds in quite some time.
If he had the Thor synergy, he would be.
Yeah. Oh, you guys want to check out his synergies? Let's do that. I know in some videos I've recently talked about why I want to rank up Immortal Abomination. I think Immortal Abomination is great anyways. He's worthy of ranking, but let's take a look at that.
And I finally do have I-Hulk as well, who I'll probably rank at some point.
Do you really? Oh, that's right. Yeah, we joked around about that on the... Well, I joked about it. Yeah. So this is going to gain immunity to all poison. Okay, I have a question for you.
Mm-hmm.
Does this also now count as an immunity for his abilities?
Yeah, the way it's phrased in his abilities is whenever he's immune to a debuff. So the pause will also trigger if he is a defender on the boss and you try to stun him. And like if he gains any other immunities for some reason, then as long as whatever he's immune to is a debuff as opposed to a passive, it'll trigger the pause.
Very cool. Okay. That's really cool. So this is my live account, guys, so I'm not going to put on the recoil tree right now, but that is something that you will probably see me doing, is running this, because Immortal Abomination is pretty good with him. But also that would now make Carl immune to poison, and he seems to have a decent heal. It feels similar. Is Mojo a bad comparison?
No, that's where the inspiration for the missing health came from.
Okay. Yeah, a lot of folks, because Mojo's a lot more flimsy than Carl feels. A lot more. But right. Mojo actually can be played even with recoil at a low health pool. You you just can't make a mistake.
Right.
Um,
It's like real Nick with bad block proficiency.
yeah, that's a good call. Tempted to play around with that with Rogue, but I don't think we will right now.
Yeah, I'm really looking forward to people starting to do more with Rogue side of that.
Absorbing Man gets an armor break. Sure, why not? My Thor's not ranked up, so we wouldn't really be able to show that too exciting.
Yeah, it's a relatively weak armor break. It's more there for utility than damage, but it's real utility.
So you could.
And then if you're sorry, go on.
No, go for it, please.
I was gonna say if you're just gonna pick one other, the Daredevil one is on the 5-star only for a reason. It's my second favorite after the I-Bomb one.
Well, at or below 15 combo, gain 100,000 block proficiency, and while above, gain. Oh, that helps his crit rating quite a bit, huh?
Right. So I fashioned it after his above and below 15 stuff, but
Yeah.
like block proficiency helps you bait heavies. Crit rating obviously means you need your heavies less. So I like that one a lot.
Oh, I don't know Titania that well. I haven't seen Mike in the chat here in a bit, so DL, I know you know her pretty well. Would putting the recoil tree on be helpful to her? Because I mean,
Titania?
Yeah.
If you play her the way that a lot of people are in Battleground specifically, yes. Which is just basically doing the special 3 bomb and doing a bunch of heavies.
Yeah.
And I think that's fine. I think that is the fast way. I think that in war, it is actually often, or just in content, it's often safer to do more special 1, special 2 alternation.
Okay.
And stack those big weaknesses. And not really worry about accidentally pushing the opponent red because time is of the essence.
Yeah.
But yeah, in Battlegrounds, I could see her being pretty good with it. You can probably use Haymakers to dodge most of the bleed damage. And actually, in content, it makes her bleed immune. So there's that.
Well, and that's what I'm wondering is, well, here, I kind of want to try to do this. I got a little too carried away there.
But already, you were kind of experimenting more.
Yeah, I'm messing around, yeah.
And the 3 seconds really matters for Uru fights.
That's what I'm, yeah. I really like that synergy. What I'm also liking is that he doesn't need it.
Yeah, that's the goal.
Like, that felt smoother, easier to do. I am, for those who've tuned in recently, I am playing quite a bit more aggressively and stuff right now than I was earlier. So there's going to be more mistakes, of course. Yeah, that was good. Yes, I am talking. This is DLL, the man who actually designed Carl, Absorbing Man. Why? Okay, so one thing I'm not understanding, this kind of started to confuse me, is why am I getting so many of the morph charges or from that initial? I'm trying to see if I can do something here. I don't know if this duck is going to allow it to happen. Throw your heavy, dude. Yeah, he didn't do it. Are they called the morph charges?
Yeah.
Why was I getting so many of them from that first special one?
Probably because of the synergy. Because morph charges are calculated based on base form duration, which for the special one is 10 seconds.
Okay.
But when you're at max sig, you actually get 14 seconds. And when you have the I-Bomb synergy, that becomes 17 seconds. And so if you like if you have an unsigged Carl with no synergies, and it looks like you have half the timer left on your Uru, and you throw another special, you get 50 charges. If you have this Carl with this team, then that's actually 85 charges instead of 50.
It felt like a significant jump. It really did. That's really nice. Okay. Let's try.
I'm not saying that people are in general leaning on the special 2 or special 1-2 rotation in War, Aiden. I think probably most people in War are using the special 3 rotation. I also think that's exactly why you see Titania die sometimes. Oops, stand your ground special 3. Like, it happens.
Okay, obviously I've got to learn my spacing better, guys, but that's see, I wish I could slow it down. Like, I kind of wish I was making a video at this exact second, so I could show you guys what I'm talking about with his moveset. That first step feels very controlled, and then it's almost like there's a nice reach on his second light. Is that...
Yeah.
It does not feel like you should be able to make those punishes on this Vision Arcus, but you clearly can.
Right. That was one of the things that I didn't even have to ask Art for. Like I said, it was just, it somehow worked out where it was like, oh, he has a really good literal 1-2 punch.
Yeah, good. The 1-2 punch. There, that's perfect. It feels like a boxer. I want to see this energy resistance.
B says I've only sent one other absorbing man than myself, and I specifically told him to not heavy into specials in case they hadn't practiced. That's hilarious. That's pretty significant.
What? Are you talking?
I mean, are you running an equity, or is that just the energy resistance?
No, I am running an equity, and I'm glad you brought it up because I had forgotten about that. But this feels like, let's see. Now we've got the Incinerate on. Still didn't do very much.
Yeah, like that's not. You're not going to be running Hazard Shift in War with I-Bomb much, but like that's pretty good.
So okay, I should probably explain that to everybody. The synergy with I-Bomb gives here. Let's just do the whole lane over. I'm really enjoying this.
Yeah, so I-Bomb naturally has a small amount of physical resistance per poison on himself. Absorbing Man extends that to energy. And I think I tuned it around a rank 2 or 3 7-star so I could future-proof it a bit. So right now, it's actually more energy resistance than he gets physical.
So 250 energy resistance for each poison. We get up to 8. What's that? 1600, 16. Is that 2000?
That would be 2000. And against, let's say against a rank 3, 2000 would be 48%.
Okay. Just for reference for everybody, a 6-star rank 5 Guardian. So this is an extremely high bar. At SIG 200 would have 8,991. So this is a long ways off from that.
Right. And Guardian at max SIG is about 80% energy resist.
Okay, and so that's what you're saying. Like you don't think you'd see this on the in War on the hazard shift nodes.
Right. It's not even quite as high as like Yellow Jacket. So I don't think you would take hazard shift with this, but like the matchup you just did of like Arcus in general, or like a thermostat lane where you have like the occasional energy damage, then it really helps.
And you know what else too? You brought up, just again while we're trying to explain to folks, because not everyone will know this. This is the inequity mastery. I feel like DLL and others, but DLL, you're one of the videos or one of the channels I really started hearing talking about it a lot, and I know it's just a staple for me. Nerd talked to me about it for Battlegrounds, and like,
yeah, I never turn it off.
Yeah, it's just always there. So passive reduce enemy attack by 6% for each debuff they're currently suffering from. So up to a maximum of 36 reduction. I feel like you went into real depth on this in your video with Titania, right?
Yeah. So I think where you're going is that like weaknesses apply after all other attack, like positive attack modifications.
Yeah.
So like you can have like that 36% is a true 36%, and it will. Yeah, like to back up, the reason this matters is that if you use the recoil masteries, which is like 60% extra attack on somebody like Hyperion, it almost doesn't matter at all because his base kit will often have him at like 300 or 400% of his base attack, and so 60 on top of that just doesn't matter. But with weakness, that 36% is always a full third. So like Hyperion at 460% of his base attack is still going to lose 150 of that 460, not just 30 of the 460, if that makes sense. It's kind of complicated, but it's a bit of an order of operations thing, and it's just important to remember that weakness is powerful because it shows up last. He says it makes him viable for hazard shift as a planer. That's huge. Yeah, that is the goal. Like, I don't expect to send any I-bombs to hazard shift, but who knows? He might be able to like blitz down a Doom fast enough, actually. Now that I say that out loud.
Aiden saying that as soon as debuff detox is gone and Kingpin is off whitelist, we're going to see a new power duo. Are you're thinking of this Absorbing Man and I-bomb team? Or did I miss part of the conversation?
I think that's what he was referring to.
Yeah, I'm very excited about the potential of this. I am very excited about the potential of these two. I enjoy Abomination. It's just other science champions have come out and what have you, and so he stayed at rank 3, but I think he was fairly early on my rank 3s.
Yeah, he's very good.
And I've already got Carl at rank 4, so that won't be a hard one to rank 4. Man, I wish the Battlegrounds meta wasn't what it is, because I would try to take him in there and show him to you all. I want to try to do that Arcus fight well once if I can. Before we sign off.
Times like these are when I like start to wish that I was able to stream from my developer account.
You know, if anyone saw right there, that's what I've been trying to. And there it was again. Like this. Do not be scared off of this idea of this light. If you guys have been watching this, like honestly, guys, I've played him very little, and his animations.
Yeah, that was a perfect illustration because you did the light interrupt, you got the pause, and then you did a medium intercept for control.
Yeah.
But then you had enough time left on the pause that the next time you did the interrupt, you had only had like a half second of downtime. Yeah, that's exactly what I was talking about earlier.
Did this little duck just evade out of my SP1? What was that? That was weird.
He has pretty quick timing. That's very possible.
That duck. Must be that suit he's wearing. Yeah, there was it happened multiple times there, and like you're saying, it was different animations or different interactions each time. It feels weird. Like, so if you guys pull him, hopefully a lot of you pull him, and I think it's like only 2 weeks away. I'd say like really do what you're seeing us do, go and test, and but then be aggressive because it's the second light really just has like a nice step forward, and like DLL kind of said, it's kind of like a 1-2. I also happened to just recently watch the movie Creed, so I think it's on my mind a little bit. Okay, let's see if I can do this one well. This is just, we did it well that one time, and it just like woke me up.
Yeah. Refined Special 2 and Magma will do that.
Yeah, let's try to at least get it once, huh? I got to remember the plenish.
Yeah. So my other recommendation is try as soon as it turns green, medium, light, medium, because then blocking will give you extra power.
Okay.
Yeah, it's not a ton there, but like you could see as you blocked the special too, that was more than you normally get from blocking.
Roll your special or your heavy, dude. Oh! Did anyone think he was going to die there? There's no way. I thought that was going to be a kill shot. There's no way.
Those incinerates had already done so much work. Good lord.
And the thing, so here's the thing is, and this is what we were talking about earlier, just to kind of like put a bow on it for everybody, is there are nodes and things and defenders in this game that are difficult and troubling that he's going to help you with. So all of these immunities he has, you're like, that's the difference between his vanilla matchups, which is what you saw in Deadpool and Venom the Duck, right? Or yeah, you guys know what I'm talking about. And this, where he's supercharged. That was cool.
Yeah.
Well, buddy, I really appreciate you staying up late. This came about 10 minutes before the stream, where I told DL, I was like, hey, I'd really like to do this thing. You want to do it tonight? I know you just signed off because you were going to bed, but you want to stay up for another hour and a half?
Yeah, this was fun.
This was a blast. Thank you very much for doing this. Is there anything else you want to tell people about him before?
I think we've covered a lot of this stuff. I mean, I see there is a question in chat, when he's in Uru, shouldn't he be counted as hashtag metal? Your clue there is in the fact that you said hashtag. We don't have tech to add and remove tags from someone within the fight, honestly.
Yeah.
Like you probably would have had to put part of Magneto's kit in him to properly do that. And it just, honestly, at the end of the day, I think you can just say Black Uru is special and move on.
Don't. I don't want Magneto touching this guy. No.
Yeah.
No Magneto.
Me neither.
No. No. The Matumbo. No. Let's do one Battlegrounds and just kind of, I mean, DL, if you got to go, I totally get it, dude. Thanks for doing this. I'll do one Battlegrounds match and maybe like field some questions, just kind of screw around, have some fun with folks. Charlie, hey, what's up, Charlie? I love him too, and not just because my friend is on the line. DL, you know this, and again, most of you all here watching know this too, is I often talk about a champion's flow.
Mm-hmm.
And what that means for me is like, if I'm just playing them, do the good things kind of happen? Is it like, you know, there's champions where it's like, oh, I got you, you rush to the SP3, and then you want to get just below the SP2, and then you throw it. And then you land your heavy, and then once you've done that, you light intercept twice. And it's like, I'm like, dude, I can't do that. Like, I can't do that. There's the nodes and the defenders are too hard. I can't do it.
Right.
And
if you outlining somebody's rotation
yeah,
is something I cannot take notes on
yeah,
when they're speaking at speed because
yeah,
I can't type fast enough, it
yes.
worries me.
Yeah, yeah, that's a great one. And for those who like have played, Spider-Ham's one I always go to because I think that's where I came up with like my terminology for it. Was I was like, I'm just playing him, and the good things are happening. Like, yeah, you have to know what you're doing. You can't just like fight. I'm not talking about 5-hit combos and parrying over and over. You have to know what you're doing. But like, you just are naturally playing them, kind of like what you guys just saw. It's more difficult to make those good things happen in his vanilla matchups. But it's not because you had to do this crazy thing. I really like it. And I so if you pull him, and I hope you all pull him, I would suggest watching this again, listening to DLL. DLL's got a great video on him. Karate Mike has done a great video. Lags has done a great video. I hope that by the time he's in the featured, I'll have put out a video or two. And then just really try to learn his terms. Because then it's kind of feels like, I'll analogize it to Cosmic Ghost Rider. Is like if you understand Cosmic Ghost Rider's judgments, when you're in the match, you'll kind of know what you should try to do. And I feel like if you know Absorbing Man's terms, you know, the morph and the why you want to light intercept, and like what DL is saying, like, well, you've already got it paused. You don't really need to do it again. And those sorts of things, what your medium's going to do. I think the good things are just going to happen on their own. B brought up like the heavy spacing and how like in war he's saying like maybe don't do that yet until you really know him. Yeah. This guy is a beast. He is a beast. I believe so. Anyone who's watching and made Phase 4 Loki in the last week of this war season, I believe he's going to be going on defense. Which is probably
What battle group are you in again?
Yeah, exactly. I'd like to not be in Battle Group 3 when we face 4 Loki.
Okay, good. So yeah. I know how to assign against it.
Nah, not fair. Not fair. Why am I not getting the countdown? Come on. Countdown. It's probably a good thing because kind of one, I've got my other attackers I'm using, but like B kind of said, there's some spacing stuff you want to get down. But I think if you're assigning them to his sweet spot matchups, which are tough fights, like that's what we're saying. The fights you're wanting to use them in are tough fights. Like this is a great tool for the job. DL and I had an old friend named Cap Communist. Remember Cap?
Yeah. I just fought him again last war.
Oh really? Oh, that's right. That's right. He's still playing.
Yeah.
And he would often talk about, he's a really great player, really smart player. And he would talk about the right tool for the job. And I feel like the game has moved more and more in that direction.
Yeah.
It's a great direction.
Summary. And that was very much my goal with him, was I was like, this feels like something, as a planner, I have never really felt like Mystic has.
No, not even close.
It's like they usually have one damage type or the other. They struggle with immunities relative to other classes. This is a bit of a problem. And so I tried to solve it.
Was it
Hey, they didn't ban him.
Was that? Oh yeah. Hopefully he comes up and we can make someone's life miserable. I should pick champions though. I don't know who to pick.
Oh, right. I forgot I can look over, and this isn't a tournament match.
Yeah.
I'm so used to shutting myself up.
We're so used to tournaments. And I mean, whatever happens. I'm having fun just talking with everybody now. Aiden, just like in your champ for the last couple of years, he takes some learning. The question is how many people are going to take the time to... I think it's going to be enough, Aiden. And... what am I doing here? I should go with... I am totally not paying attention at all. And that is fine. That's fine.
Those two make sense.
You know me, right? Like, those two fights versus Arcus, that was real. I was like, yeah, this is good. This is the good stuff. And so I think we see those in videos. I think as we experience them, like, I mean, that's going to be in Alliance chats and Line and on Discord and all these things. And so I think folks are going to be like, I want that. I want that. It's kind of like how no one wanted to play Tiger in the beginning, That's what I think anyway. As I fill out this roster of people I'm not paying attention to at all. What's up, BK? How you doing, buddy? Hyperion, that's a good one. Yeah, I'm not a great Hyperion player. DLL is the Hyperion player, but that feels like a good one.
Yeah, I've always liked him. And one of the things I like about him most is that he's so much more flexible than people usually say. Like, obviously it's Hyperion. Okay, you parry heavy and special too, and that's the only thing in his kit, and that's just not even close to true.
Yeah. Yeah, absolutely.
He's so good.
I was kind of hoping we could ruin someone's day, or I guess not their whole day, but their match with Absorbing Man.
I know, that would have been a really funny Falcon fight to watch.
Yeah, it would have. Aiden, I hear what you're saying, man. I think we've evolved as this sounds weird as a community. Like I really think, like you're saying your analogy to Overseer. Although you're right, we did all sleep on Valkyrie. That's true. Actually, you might just be flat out right because we did, except for I guess Bitter Steel. And you know what? Honestly, Karate Mike in Alliance chat was talking her up for quite a while.
I've just accepted I don't count anymore because so on the inside.
Well,
No, but it definitely. I think Titania is another one. Like she came out, and in my first video on her, I flat out said she's going to be underrated.
Yeah. Yeah, well, yeah. It's funny. People are like, why is Vega just saying yeah over and over?
He's trying not to die against Nick Fury.
That is something I often try to do is, look at him parry that. Nicely done, Nick.
All right. Now we get poison, right?
Okay, that should finish this off. But I've only got one neuro up. Let's hit him. That might have been a bad idea. Let's see.
No, Luca, I don't think your account is bugged.
I think Luca doesn't understand the node. Is that where you're going with this? Yeah. If someone will politely DL, do you, like?
I think it's that, and also earlier Luca said that he has 5-6 stars. I think part of it is the health pools that you're working with are just smaller, and so like Vega triggered the node a couple times, and it hurt, but like it wasn't the end of the fight. If you're using somebody smaller who has to go through a longer fight, and you trigger the node a few times, then you're in much more danger. So like the way the node works is that every time you hit the opponent, they gain a charge. And when they get to 10 charges, they gain an armor up. But any armor up will power burn you when you hit them, and that's the red numbers. But the thing is, all of those steps in the process can be messed with. And so you can stop the opponent from gaining the charges in the first place. You can stop the armor up from triggering. You can remove the armor up one way or another. And you can potentially stop the power burn itself. So Archangel was able to do 3 of those in different ways with just generic ability accuracy reduction with his neurotoxins. Wiccan is going to be able to stop the armor up specifically. Or, sorry, would be. I'm losing who's on defense.
Yeah, no, I know. This is honestly a pretty complex thing. Like, I think we take it for granted now. So I understand. I appreciate the way you're explaining this to Luca.
How to decrease those power burns. So if it's happening on the first hit, that means that you're facing somebody who starts with an armor, like Colossus or Nimrod, right?
So like, watch. I'm gonna do my best to not actually hit Nimrod because as DLL is saying, he's got one. So I'm gonna do my best to just hit his block.
Right. And so this is another way you can get around the node, is to just not actually land hits. There are some champions that are flat out immune to armor, to power burn. So Hulkling, Gallon is incredible in this meta, which is why you see so many people with him in their deck. Venom Pool and Venom are immune against techs. Terrax is immune against anyone who's metal. King Groot and Annihilus are immune in general. Like, those are the kinds of things that you want to look for, is either somebody who's immune to the power burn, someone who reduces ability accuracy, someone who can get rid of the armor ups, whether that's through armor break, nullify, or even preventing them in the first place, like Wiccan or Tigra. Or someone like Valkyrie, who, as difficult as it is when the AI refuses to block, can technically win a fight without landing a hit.
That was like, listening to you explain all of that while I was trying to like show it. I was like, Nimrod will not cooperate.
No, he was being extremely rude.
That was a very rude Nimrod. That was a very, very rude Nimrod.
Yeah, Luca, the nodes in Battlegrounds shifts every month. And so like that's what you're running into. 2 months ago there was almost no effect at all. Later, BK.
See, BK. That was hysterical.
And this is definitely the most aggressive node that we have had yet. It is tough.
It is.
It is arguably too tough. But I also think it's interesting.
I actually like it, but I totally understand why folks might not.
Right. Because like this is your Sig 200 Namor against Colossus, who's pretty difficult.
Yeah. Yeah, I think having a large roster, knowing a lot about the game is going to make this fun. Where if you don't have both of those things in spades, maybe not such a good time.
Right. Like, I've been using OG Black Panther a fair amount, but like you have to play him differently. You have to do like medium back off, and you have to go into Panther's Might without the special one to get your ability accuracy up sooner, right? And so like even with characters who are good counters, you often have to do kind of weird things. We talked about Nimrod versus Domino earlier. Nimrod can still take Domino, but you parry heavy all the way to the special 2 so that you don't get power burned. So like there's a lot of little nuances for getting around this node. And it's tough, but like it's also an opportunity for growth. Maybe a node like this is why you look at your roster and you go, okay, maybe somebody like Venompool or Howard the Duck has value. Or like maybe you realize, okay, if I really need to maximize this character's ability accuracy reduction or their neutralize, I need to change the way I'm playing them this way.
You know, let me, I think you did explain it to him, but just again, Luca, thank you so much for asking these very honest, genuine questions. This is great. DLL loves teaching. I love to do as much as I can. Yeah. No, it's true.
I do. I know.
Is Namor, his signature ability reflects all damage back when he's attacking. So, so that's why Namor wasn't taking that damage. He was actually reflecting it back to Colossus. Normally, without that ability, Colossus is going to be a very difficult defender because he's starting with those armor ups. Cool. Got it. Awesome. Here, well, I'll do one more and let's see if we can kind of show some more ways around the node. Charlie should be a good guy to help you with offense. He's just plenty. That's right. Yeah, I do a general tier list. It's not specific to each meta because the meta does change. Meta being the nodes. But yes, that's right. And I'll be updating that in about a week, actually.
Yeah. I know I'm not the only one to say this.
Yeah.
Although I am somebody who said it before the node was released, so I'll take some credit there. But I do think that if this node had been 10-second armor up instead of 30,
Yeah.
I think it would have been like one of the best ones we've ever had.
Yeah.
Like, I think as it is, it's just arguably a little over the line for what's appropriate for Victory Track. If Victory Track had like a junior and a senior, for lack of a better term, like up through, I don't know, gold was one node, and then above that was a harder one, but still not quite Gladiator Circuit, and it was that for the whole month, then I feel like this would be fine for the senior one. But it's, for everyone, it is a bit rough. I get it.
Yeah.
Oracle asked, does my team decide the BG's metas? No. I work, like, that is more a member of the balance and multiplayer team. So, like, their job is more about, like, trying to make sure champions and game modes are balanced. And so then they make the call, all right, given how things are right now, how do we want to shift up who's good and who's not good next month? Oh man, they banned Carl.
I know, I saw that. I actually thought about backing out, but I do need to eventually make it to the Victory or the Gladiator Circuit. I just haven't been playing enough.
For sure. Yeah, I only just recently got to Diamond.
You know what? I like your idea of like it almost like the Aiden seems like it too of it like Charlie. A lot of people are liking this, so it's not just me. Of it like progressively getting a little bit harder.
That's what I would like. Somebody pointed out to me in Snap that like when I forget. Did you play any Marvel Snap?
That's the card game, right?
Right.
Yeah, but I quit pretty early on. It was like too much fun, so I was like, I can't do this twice.
But like early on, you clearly match bots, right?
I may not have known that right away, but yes.
Okay. And so like there's kind of a lower difficulty level, and then you start matching real people. And so I feel like I don't know how long it would take for us to get here, because like it's very easy to say this is where I want Battlegrounds to go, and to minimize how much work it would take to build out the systems for that. So I want to say that off the bat.
Yeah.
But total blue sky where I would like it to go, I feel like long term the Gladiator Circuit needs to be smaller. I think it's very silly how you can get into the Gladiator Circuit and then you can win like 7 or 8 fights in a row and still be in the very bottom tier. To me, that tells me something's wrong.
Yeah, that's true.
And so I think the victory track actually needs to be longer. But the victory track is already a grind. And so 2 different things need to change. And I think that would be, 1, persistent progress, so that if you get to like Diamond 2 in one season, you're not reset back to Bronze 3 the next season. You're just reset to like, I don't know, Gold 1. So you don't have to climb as far.
Yeah.
And I think the other thing would be kind of what I said. I think that probably Bronze and Silver should either have a very simple node or like no node at all.
Would you change? Go for it.
Sorry, go on.
No, go for it.
And then I was just going to say, above that, I think it should be more like, kind of like what we have this month. But I still think it should be all month, because that gives people without unlimited resources more time to change their rosters and rank up champions to adapt.
Yeah.
And then the new, smaller Gladiator Circuit would still change every week.
Don't you hate when the game does exactly what you want it to do, but your thumb just doesn't do what you want it to do?
Yes. I've started calling that out more on my streams, where it was like, That is not what I wanted to happen. It also was not the game. My thumb just slipped off the glass.
Yeah. Yeah, that's a great one. Like I wanted him to be but I did not do the thing right.
So Luca, watch this one right here on Kingpin. Like Vega used Kingpin's special 1, which has a certain amount of ability accuracy reduction. So he's hitting into Wiccan, and he's getting some power burn, but it's not on every hit, right? And like that, there's also a weakness which I think reduces the power burn damage. And so the power burns are not ticking him down as much. Now, Wiccan Special 2 is still rude, but like that was a really good illustration of how partial counters can go a long way here.
I didn't punish that nearly quickly enough, and Wiccan just SBT'd me right in the face. I also didn't play that well enough. I kind of actually forgot about the node. We were talking about so many things, and I was listening. I kind of forgot about it. I should have probably tried to heavy a bit more, but I thank you for explaining kind of the basics of what was happening there.
Yeah, no problem. Yeah, so if you have 6-star Kingpin, he's quite good. Basically just, I would heavy a lot so that you get to your special 1 landing fewer individual hits, and then try and hold on to your special 1. Oh, they ban your Kingpin. Well, that's fair, because he's kind of difficult in this meta going both ways.
Oracle, I'm glad someone finally does it, because I'm listening. I'm trying to listen too. Wiccan with
this is a really good example of gets hit. It happens to all of us.
Vega getting destroyed by Wiccan. DLL has gotten really good at trying to like make it seem not that bad. Like, did you notice? It'd be like Wiccan's SP2 is rude. He's just gonna duck my domino. You know what? I don't think he's gonna be able to take care of Nimrod though. I think Nimrod's gonna be a real pain. And let's see, Null. Everyone in my tournament keeps using Null really well. I should at least try. I mean, I'm watching, I'm commentating on him, right? Just 3-1 for this meta with Kingpin? Yeah, you got it.
You also have Gallon.
That's
if Luca
right.
hasn't seen Gallon, that's
Gallon.
worth showing off.
Should have Galloned this. What are we doing? Oh, well.
That's a... Those 12-second kills are pretty fun.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, so with Null, if I remember correctly against Colossus, you just don't use corruption at all, right?
Oh, you don't? I actually don't know. As I was already...
Yeah, I said that too late.
Oh, that's because you can't armor break him, right? It has to be a tech?
Well, and when he tries to get armor break, he's about to gain, 15.
Oh. Wait, I didn't know that. Colossus punishes non-techs for trying to armor break him?
Yeah, it's because he has a chance to gain armor ups on immunity. Any immunity.
Got it. Okay, do not pay attention to any of that Null. That was terrible. That was bad nulling. That was bad.
Null is very good in this meta, and Null can take Colossus.
Yeah.
But no specials.
It's not like that. Yeah, so I knew you... I again, tired thinking... I knew you can't armor break him unless you're tech. I didn't realize that would happen, though. And DL is right. I just shouldn't have tried to trigger corruption. Which means you don't want to throw your SB2 then either, right? Because you would try to armor break him, so the same thing would happen.
Exactly. It's just slow.
Yeah, I thought I was being all smart over here, but I was actually falling into Doom. This is Doom's... I was falling into Doom's trap. Thought I was being smart. I was being clever. We'll place our domino, and then we will destroy things with our Gallon. That's what I was doing.
Yeah, he's got nothing left.
I was intentionally showing you all of that so you would learn. That was my plan all along. Does anyone believe that? I would think not. All right.
Yeah, that's part of what I'm saying, Luca. Like, some progress should reset because you should have to earn your spot, right? But the way a lot of games handle it is that there's like, you drop a certain amount, and the higher you get each season, the further you drop. So, like, if you only get to bronze 1, you would probably only drop to bronze 2. But then, like, if you get to the top of the gladiator circuit, you're probably dropping all the way down to, like, I don't know, diamond 3. That's where I see us going long term.
Would you just automatically get the rewards from that progress you would have otherwise made?
I think you would probably have to, like, I think you would get the rewards, but you'd probably have to unlock them by, like, playing X number of matches minimum. Because like, you can't just have it be completely automatic, or people will just literally get completely free stuff. It's a beautiful illustration of Gallon in this meta.
Yeah, it's so fun. Like, I don't know if you guys could tell, I had put my phone down quite a while, and I enjoyed it with you on the screen. That's Gallon in this meta. Keep that in mind. That's Gallon in this meta. That's like Absorbing Man. I don't even think Absorbing Man versus Arcus is that, to be honest. But
it's not quite that.
Yeah,
because
yeah.
To be blunt, you could have heavied as soon as you got to 100, and you still would have gotten to 99 on time.
That's actually true.
I've done that a few times, and that's how you get the 12-second kills. It's just such a dumb sentence to say.
12-second kills. Doom, if you're listening, if you're watching, that was actually well played against that Domino. That's a rank 4 6-200 Domino. Guys and gals, I gotta go. It is time for me to get to bed. DLL, I know it is very late for you.
Yeah,
seriously, huge thank you.
Definitely time.
Anyone who's still with us listening, I said it early, his channel is linked in the description and in the top chat there, or in the chat. The guy designs champions for the game. If you want to learn and get better at this game, there's honestly no better channel to do it than his. Do yourself a favor, go subscribe. Thank you so much for being here, buddy. I really appreciate it.
Yeah, thanks, man. I'm glad we could do this. This is cool.
This felt like old times. DLL used to stream like every day, like 2 summers ago. I feel like.
Yeah, back in the depths of the pandemic.
Yeah, helped me get through it. So,
sure.
Cool. Thank you so much, everybody. DLL, seriously, huge thank you, buddy.
Thanks, man. Take care, everybody.